Hey guys, this is Pear again, coming to you with the second tutorial video. Last time we went over the hero draws a little bit and just did the very first battle to kind of show you how that in the auto system works. Today I want to talk a little bit about managing equipment, upgrading equipment, and the talents for the heroes. Trying to find the best kind of equipment for each hero that you have to make the best use of it and to do the best in your battles. So to start off, we start with two wooden chests. Chests are a really great way to get new equipment and to upgrade your heroes really quickly. You also get a really generous amount of gold, premium currency, and stamina from each of these chests. So we're opening each of these chests here. The way that equipment works is there are 5 different tiers. The first tier being required level 1, which you can see in the bottom left. The second tier being required level 5, again down the bottom left. The third being 10, fourth 15, and fifth tier being level 20, which is currently the maximum cap. Assuming as the game continues to be developed and patched, more levels will be added and more tiers. So sword, pretty straightforward attack power. Like many games, there's kind of a rock, paper, scissors effect in that attack power counters defense and vice versa, and ability power counters resilience. As you can see down below our little spinning character here, there are 6 different icons and values. The first with the heart being health, which is at 80. The second being the lightning, which is energy regen, which is how much you regenerate per turn, which is 30. The third being the sword, which is attack power, which is countered by defense on the right with 8. The little spellbook being attack power, which is 6, and resist being 8, which is the little purple armor. Now, as you see here on the right, there are those same 6 icons with little bars. Now, if all of those values were at 0 or had no bars, then this character would have no aptitude for obtaining any values from equipment, and it also affects base stats. So if all of those were at 0, our little Bria here, Bree, would be getting 50% value from any items that are equipped. So let's go ahead and put a sword in our main hand slot. Now you'll see the sword value here is 6, but it only added 4 to our value. You can see that difference here. That is because back on the skills page, this attack value only increases it by 70%. So we're only getting 70% of the value from our sword right now. Now every 5 levels, you get the option to increase one of your aptitudes by 10%. So hypothetically, we could get that up to 110% attack that we're getting from this. So we would be getting a value of 8 instead of 7 from that sword. Now, this is a character whose skills you can see over here on the left. The first skill says 100% attack primary modifier, meaning that if you were to attack and the enemy had 0 defense, this attack would do 11 damage. However, there's also the 25% defense secondary modifier, meaning that 2 of our 8 points in defense would be added to that, adding a total of 13 damage. So we just went from 9 damage to 13 damage on our main attack by adding this sword. The secondary attack is a 140% attack modifier, meaning that it's going to do closer to 20 damage, all said and done. Actually, like 16 or so. Our third skill here is, let's see here, it says heal over time, healing scales with defense. So typically with this being a front row character, we're actually not going to stack attack and actually look for defense, which would be, this item would be good for her. However, we'll go ahead and throw that on there. And now her defense went up to 12. And that's going to increase the effectiveness of both the primary slightly and the third skill that she has there. Now that's the extent of what we have so far for items. You'll notice this is required level 20, so we can't equip that yet. And this is required level 5, so we can't touch that, with this being just a level 1 character. Now here's another really important aspect of equipment. You'll notice this Worn Sword has 6 attack power, which is a decent primary roll, and then a secondary stat of 25 health points also brought us up quite a bit. This has a secondary of 12 health points. Now, if we hit upgrade here, let's just tab through this, we get the option to increase the stats by spending gold. So this is a really excellent way early on of increasing your character's efficiency. So just by upgrading it 3 times, we have now increased the power of the sword 50%. We've gone from 6 to 9, and 9 attack power is standard on a main hand of level 5 and sometimes level 10 equipment. And see here where we just completed a daily quest to get 5,000 extra gold, and look, we're even higher than we were before by doing those 3 upgrades. So now we've really increased the stats on our main tank quite a bit. The attack has nearly doubled by adding those 2 pieces on, and the defense has gone up significantly. Let's go ahead and upgrade this a couple times as well. Even by bringing this up to 8 defense, that is a decent roll on level 20 gear to start before upgrades. So really on these secondary gears here on the right, and then also on the health gears on the left when we get some more, upgrading those a few times is a huge advantage. Really suggested until you start getting to level 10, 15, when you get to be more selective with your gear. Now we have almost no equipment right now. We just have these 2 that we can't equip. So there are 2 good ways to get more equipment. The first being the daily store. Now these are pretty expensive. I wouldn't suggest them until you're in the later game. And then there's also the daily shop. There's the hourly, which you can see the time remaining here on the right, and the daily changes out at server restart. You just get to see the icons here. You'll get more familiar with which icons are which, but just by tabbing over you can kind of see the required level on the bottom. And notice this is for level 5. We have a level 10. This is a green ticket for a really good price. I wish I had enough money for that at the moment. And then we see another sword here, required level 1, but it's still pretty expensive. 14,000 gold, quite a bit early on. We're going to save our money right now for upgrading. And the second way for obtaining gear is by going through these battles. So we had done this first one. Here's the second battle. Well, we're going to go ahead and do this battle again real quick, just to go ahead and clear it up and see if we can't get some equipment. So there's a patch coming up that's going to be increasing the drop rates on equipment for field battles, which is what these are, which will help us farm just really basic equipment starting on to get those stats up, and even upgrading them a few times will allow us to really increase how much damage we're putting out and increase the level difficulty of battles we can fight, which again in turn opens up more possibilities for getting equipment. So this is our swordsman who has the equipment on. You can see here by holding down on your character in the battle, it brings up the little stat page and you get to see the equipment. We're flying through this. We're kind of just spending our stamina to try to get a better chance at getting some equipment here. None of our other characters have any other equipment currently, so they're not doing a lot of damage. You'll just see a lot of ones popping up there. And once in a while on auto here, our Bree will attack and you see much larger numbers coming up, so it kind of takes a big chunk out. Some of these characters, just by being offensive by nature, are doing a pretty decent amount without any equipment on, which really is nice when those modifiers start kicking in when they're well equipped. In general, if you have the equipment, try to put any amount in the slots on our heroes, and we'll get some good numbers going as we get through here. I suggest farming the first few levels as they farm quickly. You can spend up that stamina as there really is an excess of it. If you're only playing for a short time, I would suggest doing just the first battle here as it goes by really quickly, and your stamina will regenerate while you're offline. Now we can see we're getting some premium currency from this as we're going through. If you decide to spend money on the game, the VIP package, it's like $15, is really neat because it gets you experience in gold a little bit faster. I do that on my main account. It's a really great way to support the devs too, because they're so incredibly active in making this game and communicating on the Discord channel. I'm just going to keep going until we get an item here. Again, we're getting a little bit of experience for our characters. Compared to the cooperative modes, the adventure modes, it's really pretty negligible. This is a mode that is pretty much for gaining equipment and for progressing in the, not quite story mode, but in the tiered sections a little bit faster. We're getting this platinum, this premium currency at a pretty good rate here. I believe we'll be coming up on 120 or so, and once we reach 250, I believe it is, then we can actually get 3 more green hero draws. So just by doing this, it goes up very quickly. Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call. So my luck is usually pretty awful. I actually went on and did another battle while I was on the phone, and we see here on the final screen that we got another sword. Holy cow, that has some high attack power for a level 1. That's a really, really great roll. As you can see, it has the purple outline. That's a rarity 4, or second highest rarity, second only to a legendary drop. So with a sword that high attack power, we're going to go to our formation real quick here. All of the heroes that I have so far all benefit from attack power. I'm going to go ahead and select the archer, and we're going to go ahead and equip that, and look at that huge jump in attack. We went from 8 to 18 just by throwing that on here. We're going to do this upgrade a couple times. So now 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's go ahead and give this guy one more. This does have a chance to fail. That goes up the higher you go. So going to +3 is usually pretty safe for low tier, low rarity weapons, as you can start kind of dumping gold into this, as I appear to be doing. Again, my luck is among the lower. So now we have 17. His attack went from very low to quite high now. So now he'll be doing some really great damage just by adding that one item. So farming those items is pretty important. Again, you can do the first, let's see here. Used to going to adventure mode, you can do the first tier of each of these different zones is just the one enemy. You can take turns kind of going around finding out which is best for your party based on the elements. You may want to choose a different one. As we just found out, the tier 1 first zone drops swords. So it appears that each of these individual places has 3 different items that have a chance of dropping. So if you need swords for your party, it seems that this is the one to go to. So let's just go ahead and recap. If your character has skills that have the attack modifier, you're going to want to equip swords in the main hand. If they have, and I don't at the moment to show you, but this ability power is a higher tier. This is very low here. If it has a higher talent, then you're going to want to go ahead and equip a staff that increases ability power on there. There are some characters that increase with defense, like this one, so we're really going to want to push for these belts. And there are some that increase with resist, so we'll want to push for resist pants. on those and try to get those resist stats a little bit higher as well. So really, as you get items, try to upgrade them to +3 as your gold allows. I don't suggest going above that usually until you reach level 20. All right, good luck, and I'll see you at the next tutorial video.